Good morning. This is the Innovation Conversation. How you doing, Tom?
Good, Kevin. How are you?
Good. So I wanted to
Welcome
come
back
back.
to welcome back to American soil.
Well, thank you very much. I had a blast. Well, boy, London is just terrific, but the traffic, oh my God. But I'll talk about that later this week.
Nice.
Um, so I wanted to come back for what's basically an off-rotation innovation conversation, just to talk a little bit about the story that broke while I was away about how Tony Hoggett is leaving Amazon's grocery business to go work with Mark Lohr over at Wonder. And I thought this was fascinating, in part because, I mean, Hoggett had only been at Amazon for about a little over 2 years, right? And I think our judgment, well, I won't speak for you, but my judgment of his ability to deliver um, was not high, and that he would then move over to what is of still very much, I mean, a highly valued, but still a very small startup from Amazon struck me as really, really interesting. So I wanted to get sort of your first impressions of why that, what does that mean in terms of Amazon's aspirations, maybe in terms of Lohr's aspirations as well. What does that tell us? Read the tea leaves a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised to hear the news. I guess surprised and not surprised. And I don't have any specific, knowledge of what Amazon was doing, how Tony was doing in the role. I only had the same external signals that we all have. But we've discussed Amazon is a pretty unique beast to go and build things in, to innovate inside of. And it's like this double-sided, ability you have to both build super compelling, customer propositions, right? And your ability to understand and focus on that, which in grocery is fairly unique relative to maybe some of the other things you can do through like a digital platform or digital services, right? But then also having that ability to, navigate how Amazon operates internally. Um, it's just a different environment. I don't want to say tough in that, you're not tough enough if you can't make it there. But there's just a way of doing business there that is challenging, and it can be really hard to navigate both. So again, not sure, how, if Tony felt like he wasn't able to do some of the things he wanted to do, right? That, the Amazon engine wasn't allowing him to do some of the things he wanted to do with the business. Or maybe perhaps the Wonder opportunity was just too wonderful to not take. I mean, a nascent company, big aspirations, outsized valuation, relative to where it's at, but it's getting that valuation because of Mark's past success, and Mark's ability to deliver investor returns,
Right.
on the vision that he's building around. And you wonder if the opportunity came to Tony, and he saw that and he said, wow, here's a chance for us to go build something together. And interestingly, they both have Amazon experience, right? They both came into Amazon from the outside. They worked under the same leadership at Amazon. And so they do have that shared experience, which probably helped them get to know each other a little bit as well. Just kind of understanding how each other works.
Yeah, scars in the same places, probably.
Yeah, I think some of the scars, learnings, but I guarantee both of them, in their both short times at Amazon. Mark was almost exactly 2 years, and Tony was about 2.5. You know, even if there are some scars, there was so much learning, both ways to do things and maybe ways, in some cases, ways not to do things that they were able to take forward.
Yeah, and I suppose, I mean, it also could be as simple as the economic opportunity at a place like that Wonder could have been huge for Hoggett, in the sense that, if he's getting a pretty, good buy-in in terms of if the company is sold, and that is Mark Lohr's tradition, right? He sold Quidsi to Amazon for what, about 500 million, and then he sold debt to Walmart for 3 point something billion. If he continues that trajectory,
Yeah.
there'll
Yeah,
be
it
some
doesn't
cheese,
take a very big
cheese in there.
yeah, it doesn't take a very big piece of that to be worth a lot and worth the effort for sure.
But it's interesting, and I think that I mean, one of the things we've talked a lot about here is the fact that, and I've had other people tell me this as well, is that Amazon always seemed one great retail executive, food retail executive away from figuring out how to make brick and mortar grocery work. And Hoggett to me never seemed to be that guy. Although, in all fairness to Hoggett, he came in at a time when Amazon was being more financially restrictive. They were
Mhm.
or responsible, right? They were not making as many big bets and throwing money around the way they did in a previous era. Now, maybe that was also part of the reason they hired him, is that he was supposed to scale back their ambitions. I mean, we don't know how
Yeah.
that played out. Um, and I just, it seems to me that I can't figure out at this point, because I just don't think we know, what does this say in terms of where they're going. I mean, they keep making noises like, yeah, we're really committed to grocery brick and mortar,
Mhm.
but they're not innovating to the same, they don't seem to have any great innovative insight into how to change the marketplace for grocery. I mean, they nibble around the edges. Um, and I'm not sure they're that one executive away anymore.
Well, that's a good point. They may not be only one executive away. I mean, I think that whether it's one executive or a team of an executive and a team to get, well, I guess the executive would always have the team, but
Right.
there's clearly something missing from the customer experience standpoint, right? Whole Foods on its own, very good customer experience. Some people may argue that Amazon's made it worse. Other people may say Amazon's made it better. But I think overall, Whole Foods is a pretty darn good customer experience. Pretty darn good. They deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on pretty consistently. You know what you're going to get there. You like it. It's a draw. It's very positive. Um, I think the rest of
Well,
Amazon
clearly,
grocery.
although clearly, as we've discussed here, I think last time, they're nibbling around the edges of that as well to try to
Well,
figure out
they are. Yeah, it may not be.
how
Yeah,
far can they go in connecting the Whole Foods experience to the Amazon experience, and make it work and integrate it in ways that won't
yeah,
disenfranchise too many Whole Foods customers.
and that's where this next uh, leader has to really focus, and that's on the customer experience. And Amazon's all about customer exception, starting with the customer and working backwards. I think they've completely lost that in the grocery space. Their grocery offerings are kind of barely a Me Too offering. It's kind of hard to tell what they're trying to offer in their current fresh stores. It's kind of hard to tell where they're going with the Go format stores. I think Just Walk Out technology has lots of great use cases for, kind of quick in and out trips, whether that's at a stadium, an airport, a grab and go type convenience environment, right? There's definitely a place for that. Um, and then how is Amazon integrating their various, online offerings together? The traditional Amazon.com shopping sites, services like Subscribe and Save, services like Amazon Fresh that you can, buy online via the site, buying from Whole Foods via the site, buying from other local grocers via the site. It's I think a lot of the right ingredients are there, but how that all comes together in the customer experience and how the online, the digital capabilities and the physical capabilities work together, they're just not. I don't think they're close. I think there's something there, but I don't think they're close to delivering on it. And we heard Claire at grocery shop, and we both left that conversation, pretty unconvinced that Amazon has the formula. And I think most people that visit these Amazon stores, they say, yeah, they're better than the last version of stores, but they're not that much better. They've done like little things here or there to make it a little bit warmer, to maybe make the assortment a little bit better, the presentation a little bit better. I think separating the Just Walk Out, technology from the store itself was smart. Let's focus on getting the store experience right, but just a long way to go. And yeah, I mean, I think that a proven grocery executive that has delivered compelling customer experiences at scale in a physical environment would benefit that effort very well inside Amazon.
All right, I'll put you on the spot as we wrap up. Give me a name.
Uh, Kevin Coop.
Well, Tom Furphy is a much better name than mine. All right, but okay, but let's talk about two names that come to mind. Susie Monfort, who's out there,
Mhm.
right? And Nick Bertram, formerly of Ahold Delhaize, and before that Walmart, and now at Flash Food. But
Mhm.
these are people who know how to run physical stores. And Nick Bertram is a guy who really understands customer experience. And I'm just wondering, could those kinds of people would they be better equipped than somebody who has spent his career at Tesco?
Yeah.
You know, what Tesco did in the U.S. Or would those people be better equipped to come in and really hit the ground running in terms of figuring out how to improve the stores and then scale up in a meaningful way?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would have, and again, Tony could have been doing a very fine job
Right.
there, and he's certainly got a great reputation in the industry, and so there's no reason to even doubt that at all. But I don't know that I would have, like, I think that the Tesco DNA, I understand why Amazon hired the Tesco DNA, but I also think that most people would view Tesco as a company that's kind of lost its edge over the last 15 years. Um,
Well, certainly a
and
company that is a lot smaller now than it was 20 years ago, you know, which sort of mirrors some of what's
yeah,
happened at Amazon,
yeah,
you know,
that's true.
in terms of the brick and mortar space, at
Yeah,
least.
absolutely. Well, I think that but I think it, if you could be very successful in the grocery business, particularly in the US. If you come up through the ranks, you really understand the operations of the store, you get an understanding of merchandising and product and customers and service, right? And you can do very well at building really good customer experiences and delivering on that and running, a profitable grocery offering. That specific skill set will not necessarily translate to Amazon. um, where somebody like Nick or Susie, where they have had roles across companies,
Right.
where they have built great customer experiences at scale in the grocery business, but have also done other things. Also, they understand technology. They're not afraid to lean in on innovation. They're clear customer centricity, an energy and a grit. Like that's the that's the DNA you need to go into Amazon and be successful. So I think executives like those two would be great for Amazon. Again, it's a tough world inside there. But if you have that right makeup, I think you can go in there and be really, really successful.
Well, great place to end. Hopefully, some headhunter will reach out to one or both of them. And we just got them a job, and they'll come on
Yeah.
to talk about it. Well, listen, again, thanks for doing this on the fly. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.
Sounds good. See you
Take
soon.
care.